Hi. Who's here? We got 4 people. Got 4 people on. It hasn't been that hot this week, but it got hot again. And I forget how to have like manageable, reasonable hair in the summer. How is that done? It's just too hot. It's too hot. Here we go again. Hello, Fatal. Hello, EG. Buenas tardes. Muy bien. That's as much as I can remember. I'm going to pick up my Spanish again. Hey, Brian. How are you doing? It's getting hotter. I forget. Where are you? Hi, gamer boy. Hi, Stella. Hey. Hi, Blackburn. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Hi, Matthew. Oh, Scotland, that's right. Yeah, I mean, I guess you have relatively the same seasons. I think. I know it gets hot in England, at least, because in British Bake Off, they're like, oh, it's hot in the tent, and they're very worried about whether they're, what is it? Well, the temperature is very, very sensitive for all the baking. It's very hot in the tent, and they're very concerned when it's hot in the tent. Got to use that freezer. Hi, Hannes. When we getting a mom stream? What's a mom? Oh, sorry. I was like, what's a mom stream? Like, this is a baby stream and then we get a mom stream? That's a good question. I just have to make sure, like, I have to come up with a format that she would be comfortable with. Because I feel like my mom's a bit shy. She's like one of those introvert extroverts. Does that make sense? Like, in the right context, she's extremely outgoing and is like chatting up everyone on the street. But then at the same time, she can be quite private. So I just have to come up with a way that she would feel comfortable and excited. And I really want to like have her speak or something like that. I had an idea a while back about a podcast where I just get like ordinary people to talk about like rules they live by or like life wisdom, or because I just have this idea that everyone has something to share. Like, so often on podcasts we get these experts and it's like we're all experts at the life we live, you know what I mean? And everyone is succeeding in their particular life, so everyone knows something. So I just thought like, oh, that would be interesting to just get random people on a podcast, as opposed to neuroscientist at Stanford or whatever it is. All those credentials. Texas is humid. Q&A. Yeah, I guess I'm just saying, like, maybe. Like, would you guys ask her questions or would I? Am I going to kidnap people from the streets? Yes. Kidnap is the only way to go. You know, you can't ask them politely. No. You have to kidnap them. That's how most journalism is done, right? I'm pretty sure. It could work both ways. She could ask me questions. Have your questions ready for a combination. I mean, what would you want to know from her? Give me some ideas. When you're like, mom stream, why do you want her on? What do you want her to talk about? Do you want us to talk about like our relationship? What do you want? Is she single? I can answer that for you. No, she is not. What am I drinking today? I am drinking some, I get very thirsty on these live streams. That probably indicates that I feel a little stressed. I'm drinking infused water made from raspberries and lemon. So it's very like, it's very pink. That's what it is. Very good in the summer. She really is taken. I'm really sorry. She's a hot commodity, but she and my dad seem to be going strong. They seem to be making it. No, I am not. I haven't had La Croix in a while because the bubbles make my stomach a little bloated. So I'm trying to ease off it. But like I like the having a beverage that isn't water or coffee. So that is my dilemma. Same with kombucha. I had like a giant kombucha last night and I was like, I love this so much. But before, okay. What was Anna like? Turn up on YouTube. Okay, what was Anna like? Anna is one of the loveliest people I've ever met in my life. She's incredibly educated. She's also incredibly polite and warm and welcoming. And no, honestly, like, I know this sounds funny and I don't know if this is just true about the English in general, but her manners are impeccable. And by that, I mean, she's like the perfect hostess. Like, she includes everyone. She's genuinely interested in everyone. She's warm. She's caring. I remember she wrote individual notes to every single person after we wrapped the pilot by hand. And that's kind of just what she does. She gives like Christmas gifts. She's just like so, it's more than nice. It's like a kind of, it feels like of another time. It's a sincerity and a geniality that almost I think of existing 100 years ago that like has since come out of fashion because now everyone's like cool, but she is good and considerate and kind in a non people pleasing way. It's just real and true. So that's what she's like. Yeah, and she likes to be busy too. I remember she was getting her master's degree when we were shooting because she hated having all the days off. Yeah, like I know she always wanted to go to university. That was just something that like she always considered a priority. So after she did Narnia, she took time off acting to go to Oxford. And her reps really didn't want her to do that because they said, look, you have all this momentum going. It's going to be really hard once you come back. But that was a priority for her. And so that kind of gives you an indication. She's like, she's of a different class. She's classy. Maybe that's the right word. I think that also speaks to the different kind of culture that exists in, I can say that about a lot of like British actors though, actually. There's a different culture around acting than what I've seen in the United States primarily, that probably like kind of bleeds into Canada. Like, acting is a legitimate profession and it isn't seen as something with which to get famous or that kind, or like get attention or become like kind of plastic in the way that Hollywood can be seen. It's a legitimate profession and it's well regarded, and so British actors tend to be very well educated and very well spoken and aren't really caught up in themselves. There's also not the like star kind of quality that exists in the States either. So they tend to be much more grounded. This is just like what I've experienced, much more like grounded and real. It's not that big a thing that they're an actor. You know what I mean? Did she help me? No. No, but I had a accent coach. But being around all of them obviously helped me. Yeah, I think you start to just imitate everyone you're around. So that was really hard not to just do their accent. Who's the most famous celeb? Who's the most famous? I don't know. I mean, that depends on who's famous to you. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I mean, I feel like Elizabeth Moss is like now, I consider her one of the most famous people. Was she that famous at the time? I don't know. That's who's coming to mind. Maybe there's someone else. Miranda Cosgrove. Yo, you know, I didn't know that was her. I actually do cuss a little. I didn't realize that was her, and now I'm like, it makes perfect sense that that's her. She is like that. She's so sweet. So sweet. I just remember being on a hike with her, and people stopped us and wanted a picture with her. And she was like, yeah, of course. And then what struck me was after the interaction, she was like, was that okay? Was I like, like she hoped that she came off like warm and good, and that, you know, she gave them what they wanted. And I thought, yeah, that's what really spoke to her, was that like she wanted to make sure she gave them the due attention that she felt they deserved. Yeah. Have I ever met Mel Gibson? No. No, I haven't. Nope. Would I don't know if I'd care if I met Mel Gibson. That'd be like, okay, hi. That would be weird. Yeah. Okay. Any more random questions? Otherwise, I'm going to get into it. I actually do cuss a little. That's so funny. I heard that for weeks before I actually saw the original video. All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about habits and why things stick and why they don't. Like, there's a lot of things within this that fall under an umbrella. I almost thought about starting with discipline, which I feel like I've talked about, but it's kind of obvious to me. So maybe I'm going to get into like the kind of progression of this. At least that's how I see it. I see it as a progression and thereby like a clarification. Does my mom cuss a little? Yeah. Yeah, although my mom, I guess maybe it's generational. She like, one of the things that she says that I find so funny is she's like, holy crow. Holy crow. Yeah. And she'll do some of that, you know. Gamer boy. Random thing I'm gonna just say, at my house, in real life, we're probably gonna get a tornado. You're gonna have a tornado? Where are you? I mean, are you safe? Are you gonna be okay? Or is it just exciting? Because part of me is like, tornado? But like, are you okay? Do you have a tornado shelter? Are you used to tornadoes? I don't know. what's tornado culture like? What's that like? Have you had a tornado before? Must be amazing to see. As long as you're safe. Stay close to the bathtub. Poor kid. Okay, so I'm gonna start many tornadoes. Okay, so you know what to do. Well, okay. I hope this is your regular run-of-the-mill tornado and that everything is fine. And you do have a basement. Great. Okay, good. Stay safe. Okay, I feel like we're about to have a storm. I'm gonna talk about discipline to start off. Okay, and this is kind of like an obvious one, but maybe it's not. So I've gotten comments before from random people who are like, you have a lot of discipline. And I'm like, no, I don't. And anyone who looks like they have discipline, they do not have discipline. What they have is short-term willpower that then becomes habit. That's like discipline. Okay, so ideally you don't want discipline. Like, who cares about discipline? What you want is habit. You want it that, like, I do this every day. This is just what I do. It's not, it doesn't take me discipline to work out. It's that I do it every day. So I'm on a routine. I'm on a schedule. It's just part of what I do. It's what I do. It's automatic. So while you're establishing that habit, sure, it takes a little bit of discipline. It takes a little bit of willpower, okay? But then once you're past that, ideally, it's just a habit and you don't need discipline anymore, okay? And for any of you guys who are like really into kind of process, systems, I don't know what to call this guy, but it's like the Tim Ferriss guy. Yeah, look up Atomic Habits. It's a book by James Clear, and he talks about this, and he kind of talks about what I'm going to get into. Okay, so that's discipline. There you go. So we don't actually want discipline. We don't want to cultivate discipline. We want to cultivate habit. We want to create habit. All right, but what also James Clear gets into is that the deepest form of habit, and actually I would say like the only true long-lasting form of habit, is identity, at the identity level, okay? And this is why even having a habit, if you don't agree with the identity that you have for this habit, it won't last, all right? And the reason that I was thinking about this is because I've started to like work out again, and I was talking to my friend about this morning, and I think I've been doing it for about a month now, where like I work out in the morning and I work out at night, and sometimes it's short, but I've been really consistent with it. And this isn't that extraordinary for me. Like, I'm able to do these kinds of things. I'm able to like, okay, I'm gonna do this for a while, and I'll just be really consistent with it. Yeah, that comes easily to me. But what I've noticed is there's like the long term. Am I going to be able to do this for the rest of my life, say? Is this something that I'll be consistent with to that degree? Because what I've noticed about myself is often I'll pick up things and I'll try things and I'll enjoy that and I'll do it really steadily for a while and then I'll stop. And I was kind of like, why do I do that? Why do I stop? I get so into it, but I quit. And so thinking about this further, it's like, and this isn't a new idea, but you know, with diets or things like that, people will say, you have to stop thinking about it as a diet and you have to start thinking about it as a lifestyle. Like, are you going to be able to eat this way for the rest of your life? Because if not, you're going to revert back to how you ate before, or the weight you were before, or whatever it is before. Okay, I'm not going to say that like you have to work out or you have to eat a certain way. It's that you have certain ideas about like what a skinny person is, or what a healthy person is, or what what someone who works out is, okay? You have ideas in your head. And if there is something about that that you do not like, you are not going to do that for the rest of your life because you are not that person. In your head, you're like, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. So you might try it out for a while, but you don't want to fully commit to being that, all right? And that's what I mean by identity. Now, sometimes we can kind of slip into it and it becomes our identity, but I would say that only happens when we're okay with the identity, all right? And this is, can I stitch this all together? So, and can I stitch, I'm gonna stitch this all together and I'm gonna like go off on a little side tangent. So self-sabotage, I'm gonna go ahead and say there's no such thing. There is no such thing as self-sabotage from the inside. For you, it's not self-sabotage. I don't care what the activity is. I don't care. It's not self-sabotage. You do what you do because you think it is in your best interest. Even if it has a negative result, the negative to you doesn't outweigh the positive. So even if like drinking to someone else, that's self-sabotaging behavior. You drink for a reason. There is a reason that you do it, all right? And you think like that reason and what it gives you is important and outweighs whatever not drinking would give you, okay? So you are doing everything for your best interest. As far as you're concerned, as far as you're able to see, you're always trying to do your best. Like really, people are doing the best that they know what is possible for themselves. Okay, so there's no self-sabotage. Get that idea out of your head. I don't know about you, but that's an idea that like really kind of festered inside of me. Like, I'm bad to myself. I'm bad. You're not bad to yourself, okay? You just might not know that there are other things that would be better for you, all right? Or you have just messed up ideas about the things that you do, thinking, yeah, but this does give me something, and you don't know that doing something else would be much better. You don't know that from the vantage point you're at, okay? And the reason I say that is because when it comes to like who we are and the lives we end up living, like it's a combination of who we want to be and what we think is possible. And it's those two, okay? Which is kind of like why it's the only real way at this point in time I can kind of justify the sentence like your desires are meant for you. It's that like your desires are you. They're the creation of you. Everything that you are now, at some point you wanted to be. You saw it and you thought like, that's the way to be. I don't care if it was like preferable. You thought, I want to be that because like it will give me some kind of safety, it will give me something. I want to be that in some way. All right, so we're always going after what we want, just inherently. We're not capable really of not doing that, I don't think. We're always going after what we want, but when there's something that we want that we're not getting, the only reason that we're not getting it or not being it is because we also have something that we want to be that conflicts with that. Okay, or we have an idea of the thing that I want to be is negative in some ways. So I want it, but I also don't want it. So for instance, for me, with working out every day, all right, I like the idea of working out. I like how it makes me feel. I want it. But do I want to be someone who consistently works out every day of their life? Do I want that? Again, it's all about your ideas about a thing. But to me, like the idea that conjures up is someone who's kind of inflexible. And again, this is all based on my life experience and a particular person that I can think of who represents the things that I'm going to be listing off. But someone who works out every day and is like committed to to a specific routine every day of their life is kind of inflexible and kind of severe. And like working out culture too. I don't know if I really want to be that like strong woman. I guess I have ideas kind of like that's a bit, I hate to say it, but like a bit, you know the word. Like, oh, it's better to be like a little bit soft and a little bit lounging in bed and like a little bit more feminine than like working out every day, right? So I can see that coming up ahead for me. Do I really want to be the person who works out every day? And unless I can negotiate that with myself, and unless I can change and broaden either my idea of myself and accept that as like being a perfectly great way of being, or, sorry, my Spotify is on, or I can change the idea of what it means to work out every day, then I'm just gonna have it, I'm probably gonna stop at some point. That's just what's gonna happen. And I was thinking of this too. This is so like funny and stupid, but for a long time I've wanted better posture. Specifically, like I look at photos of myself and I go, oh, God damn it, like stand up straight, girl. Yeah, I saw like a photo of myself yesterday and I was like, I look good, but why am I, stand up straight. And if I'm totally honest with myself, when I think of someone who stands up straight, who has perfect posture, this kind of has to do with like perfect, this is obviously like a theme for me. It's a little bit stiff. It's a little bit rigid. It's a little bit like hoity-toity, like I'm perfect. I stand straight. And I obviously have something around that. I have like some kind of judgment around that. So even if I want to be the person who stands up straight, I also don't. I want to be the person who's relaxed. I want to be the person who's kind of more normal and human and like lazy. There's something that I find attractive, you know, ideal about being a person who doesn't care, who's kind of more laissez-faire. So again, like I have to decide which do I want. And then once you see that, like my not having good posture isn't a failing on my part. It's something I consciously decided I didn't want for myself, or other way around. Not being like relaxed. I consciously decided that, because you can't be everything at all times. You just can't. And so there's no like failure. There's no like, oh, I couldn't become that. You chose not to become that because being something else was more important to you. If you look, so for me, this kind of, I don't know where this comes from, but even like, I think the posture thing is actually a really good example of, I have this idea of like being a little bit ungroomed, a little bit like more relaxed, a little bit is somehow better, maybe more authentic than if I were to style my hair every day. I have something around that. But then I have no reason to feel less than comparing myself to someone, you know, with the perfect curls, because I am choosing not to be that person. So decide who you want to be and stand firm in that, and know that you are doing what you truly believe is the best choice for yourself, is like the most beneficial way of being. And if I decide like of working out, I guess I'm just thinking back, so am I going to work out every day for the rest of my life? No, but I definitely feel like I need to change this idea that like, it's something I enjoy. I don't need to make it mean something about myself. It's that whole like being that girl, you know, like even if I think of my diet, I will like kind of take pride in the fact that, and I don't think I'm alone in this, I think a lot of people have like animosity to quote unquote perfection, because they go like, that's not realistic. And this is what I mean about like, you will do what you think best serves you. So I think a lot of people have animosity, of course I think this, towards the person who's like quote unquote perfect and works out every day, like does Pilates. I have a thing about like Pilates girls, and eats like, doesn't eat dessert, and you know, like eats 100% healthy all the time or something like that, I have something against that. And it's almost like, no, I'm better being the person who cheats, who like sneaks this, who eats that, who is lazy in some way, who isn't this, that, and the other. Like, I'm better off being less than. I'm better off like not being able to sing it perfectly, or not being able to play it perfectly, or not. I'm better off not being perfect, whatever, like really good, or I'm better off like not standing out in that way. I'm better served that way. I'm like safer that way. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so until I change that idea of myself, I won't ultimately accept it for myself, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I guess I wanted that too, to just like all give you guys, sometimes I feel like we get down on ourselves because we go like, I must not be smart enough, or I must not be hardworking enough. I must be lazy. And it's like, no, you just have ideas about how to be that are different than what you're doing. Like, honestly, you think that what you're doing is right, is reasonable. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it. So, first of all, like, you're living your life as it exists right now, you're living it perfectly. Like, you're getting 100% results, perfect results of the life that you currently have. And it's a perfect reflection of who you are right now. And you don't have to change that. But if there is something you want, it's good to look at, why don't you want it? If you're not experiencing it right now, like, really be honest with yourself. What is it about that thing that you would have to sacrifice something in your current reality? What would you have to give up about who you are being right now in order to live that life? What do you think living that life means? And who would you have to be? And are you seriously telling me that you're like 100% okay being that person? I'm not saying that you have to be that person to live that life. Sometimes we have these like skewed ideas of like, I have to do this and I have to be this. But if you think you have to be that, then you have to be that. And that is creating resistance, because you're like, but I'm not that. I'm this. I'm me. All right. So that's always like a good reminder too, is that actually you never have to change your outside in order to have something, unless you decide you do. And by outside, I mean like, you don't have to change your personality. You don't have to change your physical appearance. You don't have to change in order to have something. You really don't. But what you have to change is any kind of perception of self or the thing. That's what changes. And either you can choose to change you. It's all changing you. You know what I mean? Or you change your idea of the thing. That's how change occurs. Okay? I think that's everything I have to say about it. And it's all fine. With this too, I mean, I can go more macro. Like, the idea of doing the same thing every day for the rest of my life, regardless of what the activity is, like, if that's not me, and I like the idea of constantly trying new things and picking up new things and constantly like reinventing myself and having a different routine, that's fine too. But then there's no reason to compare myself to people who don't do that, because I'm choosing. I'm saying, no, it actually serves me best to do this. Let me go back a little bit. Oh, wait, Blackburn, I have to go finish an assignment in 30 minutes because I procrastinated. Okay, you can do it. I hope you left. Manuel, those are a lot of things I'm struggling a lot because I ain't how I want to be, but I get upset and don't understand why I chose what I chose, but I get it better now. Yeah, like, I know this sounds really messed up, but it's like you are how you want to be. Like, you are. You legitimately think that this is the best way to be from your vantage point. So there's something, like, whatever you think is the solution, you're not doing that for a reason. And the reason I, like, really emphasize this is, like, I want people to stop, like, hating on where they're at. Because it's all fine. And when you can, like, give yourself the benefit of the doubt, like, give yourself some breathing room that, like, who you are right now is fine. And that you're not making choices out of a negative place, that you're actually making them just from where you are. And that there's reason and logic to it. Then you have, like, some breathing room and you can trust yourself. And then from that place of trust of, like, hey, I'm actually, like, a sensible human being, you can, from that place of sensibility, like, think through it and start making choices that you actually want. Not, like, actually want, but, like, make different choices. And go, like, I'm a sensible human being, so I can do it. Does that make sense? That's where you're coming from. When I had my battle with alcoholism, that is exactly how I thought, but it was hurting all those around me. Yeah. But you were doing your best. You know what I mean? You didn't just randomly drink alcohol. There was a reason for it. Honest, I really relate to this. People always say I have discipline because I play American football and work out a lot, but it's mostly a habit now and feels weird when I don't do it. Yeah, exactly. It feels weird. It's like, it's not myself. I'm not myself if I don't work out, if I don't play football. So, like, get that, like, the things that you want over there, you just think that's not you. That's why you're not doing it. So why isn't that you? And again, either you can change your conception of you, or you can change your conception of that and go, like, actually, like, working out isn't that weird. Or, like, working out isn't blah, 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 blah. Just, you want to bring it closer together. You corrected yourself. Good for you. That's incredible. And that also, I think, is, like, so your kids are a high priority for you, you know? So again, we do what, like, most serves us. So there, a priority readjustment happened, and you were like, it serves me more, like, to have my kids okay than to have this addiction or, like, this habit, right? That's actually more important. That serves me better. That is more beneficial. That is, like, that's more dominant. That's all it takes. You don't need to, like, completely eradicate the thing. It just needs to be more dominant. Three kids. That's amazing. Yeah, that's how, like, having people in your life can really... We want to be better for them. That's great. Okay. Spartan kick. Good for you. How'd you kick it? Very hard. Hey. This is also, like, advertisers know this. Meaning that I'm sure there's a part of me that is programmed to think that it's cool to eat Lay's potato chips. You know? So I'm like, I don't want to be the healthy girl, even though, like, I also really enjoy being the healthy girl. But, like, that's the thing that keeps me, like, going back and forth between the two. Because I'm kind of uncomfortable being super healthy. Like, I'm worried people will be like, oh, okay. Good for you. Aren't you good? And I don't want to be seen as that. But I shouldn't care what people think. Actually, same with alcoholism. Like drinking alcohol, actually. Oh, good. The assignment is due next week. Great. Okay. I was going to talk maybe about procrastination, but I won't. It's that, like, we procrastinate for a reason. That's what I wanted to say. Again, you procrastinate for a reason. Wow, you lost 30 pounds this year. No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to eat super healthy. It's that, like, though, if you think you do, you do. And if there's something you really don't like about that idea of yourself, if you're not comfortable with that, you won't stick to it. And that also goes for just, like, being a skinny person. Like, think about the life that a skinny person inhabits, and are you 100% okay with that life? Whatever you imagine that life being, does that actually feel realistic for you? Does that feel like you? Yeah. I don't think this is, like, I don't know if anyone's ever talked about this, but it's like, if you want to be a writer, what for you is the life of a writer? What does that actually look like? Is that, like, you writing 8 hours a day? I don't know. What's that like? And if you're totally honest with yourself, do you like the idea of writing 8 hours a day? Do you like that idea? Are you comfortable with that idea? Does that feel like that could be you? If so, yes. But then, like, if not, and that's your idea of what a writer is, there's, like, doesn't go together there. And so you're going to keep saying, like, I want to be a writer, but you're not going to ever feel legitimately like a writer. And you're going to have to, like, force yourself to do things. I don't know. Procrastination. Yeah, it goes into, like, laziness. I just hate it when people say they're lazy. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're not lazy. You're just afraid of pain. Rightfully so. We shouldn't go after pain. But, like, usually I think laziness comes to discouragement. We don't want to fail. And if we see that our efforts don't yield results, we lose interest and we don't want to do things. If we're good at things, meaning, like, if we're effective, we usually like doing the things that we're effective at, you know? But when it leads nowhere, who wants to do that? last year I trained every day for 100 days, like increased my running every 10 days. Whoa, my push-ups and sit-ups and squats. Then I had a nursing case in my family and I lost all motivation and energy to go on. I don't understand what a nursing case? I don't know what that is. But it just sounds like you fell out of the routine, honestly. That something hit you hard mentally. Oh, I'm getting deja vu. Yeah, it sounds like something else became a priority, basically. You know what I'm saying? And from that place, it was more important for you to like nurture your emotions or something going on in your life than to keep it up. Which isn't wrong or anything, but it's like you didn't lose energy. It's that your energy and your motivation went elsewhere. Does that make sense? And I really feel like putting it into those clear terms really helps. Because again, I just like you're not lacking, you're not messing up, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just like we're always just allocating our focus, our attention, our energy, our like thoughts and beliefs, and it's just like where are we putting that? And so from that place we're doing our lives perfectly all the time. You have to write 8 hours a day. You're in high school. Cool, you're a writer. How's my romantic comedy coming along? I got sidetracked. Now I'm working on something else. But I still want to do romantic comedies. Now I'm working on why do I get something that I'm like, is this a show? I'm working on something about Goethe, okay? That's what I'm working on. Yeah, and so like to the afraid of pain comment, like the more that you can show that it isn't painful, the more that you can like change your story of pain around the thing, and that's either in like readjusting your concept of the thing or your concept of self or like your aversion to failure or like sometimes I think that's why the Pomodoro works so well, because we make it manageable. We put like these micro time slots in to give our attention, and then we go, oh, I can do this, and then we slowly build confidence around that, you know. He had a family emergency. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. You're taking care of her? Okay. Don't forget to take care of yourself. And I really mean that. Like, the people in your life don't suffer when you take care of yourself. It's the other way around. You being full, you being the full glass overflowing, spills out onto other people, okay? And when you come to her like sharp and clear and positive and feeling yourself, that's infectious. Whether she has dementia or not, she will feel that. She will feel that clarity from you. But also, it's nice you're taking care of your grandma. My auditions are going good. I'd say with the energy thing, think of like energy as something, sometimes I think we like, I'm not going to tell you what to do, Manuel, but like that it's an investment that we make to have more energy. meaning that if drinking isn't an investment in your energy, then it's actually a deficit. And if working out, it looks like it takes a lot of energy to work out, but if it's an investment and it gives you more energy, then it's an investment, right? And you're better off, even if you're tired at the end of the day, if you're better off doing like 100 squats because it's an investment, then I would recommend you do that, you know? That's all I would say. Yeah, and I would take it slow. If you were like doing so well, I would just like, I'm really big on like little micro adjustments, like just as an experiment with no pressure, you know. Try giving yourself whatever time you think you have or whatever energy you think you have for the thing. Give yourself, if it's 5 minutes a day, I don't care. But just like as an experiment, what if I do this? What if I start doing this again? And then if it's working, you're going to do more of it. And if it's not working, great. You didn't really lose that much. You lost 5 minutes of your day. Okay, I'm probably gonna go. E.g., what did you want to ask me about handmaids? Like a person that is trying to hurt you. What? When I shot the pistol? Yeah, it kind of scared me. I didn't realize like the blowback. Like, it's just not what I thought it was. Aw, you're so welcome, Manuel. Like, keep us up to date, okay? Any way that we can support you. You were an instructor. Oh, that makes sense. When am I gonna do a live concert? I'm gonna do one soon. How about that? I've been singing a bit again. I literally like stopped for a really long time. It felt like a long time. So now I'm getting back into it. But that's like a perfect example too. Like I think about this relating to my topic. It's like, what would it be like to be someone who was just supremely confident about singing, you know? And if I'm totally honest, I've had a story for a really long time that it's wrong to be conceited. It's wrong to be like, yeah, I'm good at that. Or yeah, sure, like no big thing, like just so yeah, I've been thinking that it's like it's better to be a little bit shy and a little bit modest and a little bit humble and and let other people like draw me out of my shell. That's like a preferable way to be. But I really don't want to do that anymore. You love my hair this way. Thanks. Why does that make me laugh so much? Last night, am I the only one? I sweat so much in my sleep. So much. And I swear to God, unless I was dreaming it last night, I was like just like wiping sweat off myself onto my sheets. I probably need to wash my sheets. And then I woke up today and my hair was like perfectly straight yesterday. And I was like, what happened? What happened to me? How about tomorrow? Maybe. Who's Chloe Berg? Instead of talking about depression. No, let's talk about depression forever. Let's just talk about depression. What? I don't know who Chloe Berg is. So, no, I didn't. But fascinating. Also, this is just a random thought. I don't really want to get into this. But like, oh, good night, Blackburn. Get your homework done, okay? Don't wait till the last minute. Just do little bits throughout the week, all right? Don't wait till last minute. Do what do what Hemingway does when he writes something. He finishes when he knows the next thing he's gonna write. And so he's like excited to start the next day. Okay, so like write a little bit and then stop before you're like totally out of ideas. Because then you'll be motivated to write the next day, and it will be pleasurable for you to write there. No, I'm not going to talk about it. Anyway, I was going to talk about the Johnny and Amber trial for a second, but no, I'm not going to. I'm not going to. Okay, I love you guys so much, and maybe there'll be a concert at some point. I don't know, no promises. All right. No, I didn't. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Brian. Oh, she did have a good birthday. Good, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Grandma Framer. That's funny. All right, bye, Hannes. Bye. Bye, guys.